I know in your world, watching this back, we only got relegated yesterday. It probably all still feels quite fresh and raw. For me, I've had a week off the save. I'd played that like Tuesday last week, and I'm recording this Tuesday this week. So, yeah, there's been a period of contemplation. The problem is, I did the transfer window and all that stuff while I was still angry and heartbroken. And looking at this now, I have some regrets. Hello and welcome to part 104 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we're going to have a look through those summer transfers, including the regrets. Plus, we're going to play our first game of the new League One season away against Oldham. Hopefully, this will be the last time we ever play a first game in League One. So, we've not made it all the way through to the start of the new season. Why did I just stop? Did I just get so angry that I stopped? Well, we've got Ruggles on loan for another season. That's good stuff. We'll go through the transfers now, then we'll fast forward a little bit to get to that first game of the new season because we're still I don't know why I just stopped at this point. I think I made a couple of decisions that I'm not sure I'm comfortable with and then just had to walk away, I think. So, brace yourselves for this because it's emotional. If we have a look at our transfer history, you'll see that we've not spent a penny on players yet. We have, however, brought £1.9 million into the club in transfer fees. It's a combination of departing legends, righting a previous wrong, and stupid relegation release clauses. So I know we would normally go through this in order, but obviously the first and most important one is our long-time captain, Joe Anderson, has left the club. 29 years old now. He is an absolute hero, an absolute legend. He played 408 times for Nuneaton. I don't know if that record's ever going to get beaten. But it says a lot about his quality that he went for 50 grand to a League Two club. So, a League Two club that we've been in the conference for the last 25 years as well. So, a newly promoted League Two club have signed Joe Anderson. And I think that probably says a lot about Joe Anderson's quality. As a footballer, obviously as a captain, he's an absolute hero. In the same vein, Jake Laskowski, the only other man who would have been in a position to say that he'd played for us in every playable league, from the National League North all the way up to the Premier League. Now we're down in League One again. It's not going to happen for him either. So he's also departed. He's actually gone back up to the Championship with Stevenage. Although this is a Stevenage team that were down in League One last year. So newly promoted Stevenage. Jake Laskowski does get his opportunity at age 26. You never know. If Stevenage have a mega good year, he might still get to play in the Premier League. And we might still get a Jake Laskowski story. Outside of those ones, though, the big transfer, obviously, is righting the wrong that was Miles Darwin from last summer. I think this was where it all went wrong last year, spending our entire transfer budget on Miles Darwin, £1.2 million, and he scored 1 goal, 5 assists, and did a 6.75 for us. That's not £1 million off of players. Luckily, Plymouth are just as big a suckers as we were the year before. Darwin's now had 2 championship relegations in a row. He got relegated with Birmingham and with us, and now he joins a Plymouth team who I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow manages to achieve the feat of getting relegated from the Championship 3 times in a row whilst going for like £3 or £4 million worth of transfer fees in that period, which would be ridiculous. But yeah, Darwin has gone as well. And then we had a couple of one I think maybe, of the relegation release clauses. Ollie Longdon is not a player we wanted to let go. Age 27, he was a good player for us for the last 2 years. A solid midfielder who we picked up on a free transfer. Lots of championship experience, but he had that relegation release clause in there, and Stevenage just stepped in, gave us 350 grand for him, and he's moved on too. Jonathan Mitchell, ridiculously, has gone to play for Newcastle in the Premier League. I don't know either, but I wasn't going to say no. He was only going to be my third choice keeper this year. Lee Weaver, we've moved on just because I think it's probably time. That one made me sad too, and I kind of wish I'd kept him, but we have signed striking replacements for him, so hopefully we don't live to regret that one. Obviously, the amount of goals we know he can score at this level, that one might be a regret. And then Colin Gibson, I don't even know who he is. Does anyone remember Colin Gibson? A backup keeper, apparently, who's gone to Dundee. And then a couple of players have gone out on loan. So lots of players leaving the club. Because of our financial situation, though, we haven't had a lot of money to spend. We have still got a little bit of spensies, and I assume past Kev had a plan. I don't remember what that plan was, so my new plan is play the first couple of games of the season and work out where we need to plug gaps based on what we've signed on free transfers. They're not all youngsters from the Premier League. There are some more established players who's come in as well. But we do have a decent amount of wage budget left, a big budget for this level as well. We've gone from being the smallest team wages-wise to probably one of the biggest teams at this level. And we've got the money to probably go out and buy one or two decent players. In fact, let's have a look to see how we do on the wage table at this level. I can't remember how you do it. Is it stats? No. There's a way to do this. I don't remember what that way is. I imagine one of you lot could probably tell me. But, no. Records, maybe? No. Stats? Team detailed? No. No. Nobody knows. You're all screaming at me now. Kev, this is how you do it. Kev doesn't remember. Stages. And can we sort it by wage budget? No. Never mind, eh? Let's look at the players who've come into the club. So lots of free transfers again, and a couple of loans, important loans as well. Plus an important free transfer signing, Alex Barber, with the rest of the midfield escaping and fleeing this sinking ship. Alex Barber has come in and signed for us permanently. He's been on loan with us for the last 3 seasons. It's another James Ball story. He's got promoted out of this league with us before when we were down in League One. 12 assists that season. Had a cracking season that year, and has been a squad player in a good midfield for the last couple of years in the Championship, but I think he has absolutely got the quality to step into the void that is Darwin still scouting a year on, Longdon moving on as well. We've lost a lot of central midfield players, and Barber was a must-buy, I think. And then we've got all of this lot, who most of them are going to be youngsters. Let's see if we've got any ones who are actually older. Again, I don't remember. You pause them and look at them as we go through. You'll see that we've done the same thing as normal. The 5-star potential players, don't really know what we did here. Robert Martin, what are you for? Josh Boland. See, some of these aren't even 5-star players when they come in. And I know usually when I show stuff like this, the instant comment is, but Kev, your scouts are obviously rubbish. They're not. We've got the best scouts in the division. I don't want the best scouts in the Premier League at the moment while we're in League One. We've got the best League One scouting team there is. So, Ollie Stainsby is the reason Lee Weaver's moved on. And he's taken German's number 6 shirt as well as a striker. Current ability of 3, 3.5 star potential. Has scored goals-ish at this level before. I can hear you all saying, Kev, he's not as good as Weaver. Kev, he's not as good as Weaver. Is Weaver still on there to do a comparison? Let's have a look. So, Lee Weaver versus Ollie Stainsby. Who is the man that we should have kept? Oh, don't tell me I've made the wrong choice here. I mean, Weaver's got him for everything there. The only thing we've got is Stainsby's quicker. Yikes. Oh, what have I done? I was so sad when I was doing these transfers. Michael Simmons is a 22-year-old centre-back who's come in from Hull and probably isn't good enough to play. It's all going wrong. Pete Muggeridge is a new left-back who's the reason why we could let Anderson go. Raheem Lashley, I remember he looked good. An attacking midfielder to offer some competition for ball, because obviously we've now lost Darwin. Richardson didn't come back for another year. He was released by West Ham in the summer, wouldn't sign for us permanently. And then we have Zaba, is that how you say his name? South African international central midfielder from Fulham who's on loan with us for 2 seasons. And I think he's going to be awesome. And then we've also got a goalkeeper, Lee Hugo, 20 years old, 2.5 star current ability, 5-star potential. We're trying to tie him down for his 2nd year as well at the moment. And if he's no good, we've still got Sam Griffiths knocking around as well, who should be more than good enough for this level. So I think there probably are still gaps in the squad. If we have a look at the squad depth, I'm looking at this in much more detail for not having any idea what's going on. Perhaps I should always leave it a week after a season finishes. So up front, I think we're fine. Ruggles and Fisher should be absolutely good enough for this level. Stainsby, Walker, Kearns are all players who should be able to score goals for us as well. We've then got Ball and Lashley as options as an attacking midfielder. Central midfield, I think we probably still need to improve, because once you go past Davies and Barber and probably Jay Johnson as another option. I don't know who Michael Neal is. Is he one of our youngsters? So he's been around for a little while. Hopefully he gets to make the step up. We've still got Owen Craigan at the club as well. This is probably the year he's going to drift into the first team mix as well. But I think we probably do need at least one more central midfield player. And we've got Ball and Taylor as options at left back. Plus our hottest prospect is apparently Hayden Sheridan. So it probably wouldn't do any harm to get him in the team sooner rather than later as well. As with a club that have got a lot of 5-star potential youngsters, for him to be the best one, we probably need to give him some game time. At right back, it's going to be Ibrahim and Lang again, as it has been for the last several years. Flores is back on loan for another year. And I think our defence, ridiculously, with the defence being the problem in the Championship, looking at certainly at centre-back and star ratings, Ruggles aside, our 3 best players are Sawyer, Hughes and Flores at centre-back. We were weak at full-back last year and we'll probably be fairly weak there again, but I think our defence should be strong enough to survive. And then we've got Griffiths and Hugo battling it out for goalkeeper. So maybe, I think a midfielder. If we could buy £300,000 midfielder in the mould of Longdon, who we've just lost, just a straight swap for him, and I think that squad is good enough to get promoted again. I think it's better than the one that got promoted last time. Now we're going to fast forward, get to that first day of the new season, and win 8-0. Here we go then, folks. For the first time in a long, long time, we're on the first day of a new season, and we have a team that looks very, very different from the one that played last year. And I guess it's the right time to do that. We were rubbish last year. It was time to have a shake-up. It was time to bring in new players, and that looks like a very new look team, obviously still playing the system that we know works at this level. So Lee Hugo starts in goal, a back 4 of Ball, Hughes, Sawyer and Ibrahim, with a midfield of Barber, Davis and Neil. So this is Michael Neil, I think, making his debut for us today. He is. He was out on loan at Woking all last year. He's 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, and we're putting a lot of hopes on a youngster in that midfield on the first day of the new season. We have got Macaulay Ross, who played towards the end of last season as well, plus Zaba, who we were talking about before, who might end up being brilliant or awful, and we'll give him his opportunity sooner rather than later, I imagine. Ball is then going to be in behind Ruggles and Stainsby, with Dan Fisher sat there on the bench saying, "You'll play me soon, boss, or I will leave." Remember, Dan Fisher last year was one of the pre-season favourites to be top scorer in the Championship. It didn't really work out for him last year, and he's got a little bit to prove this year. And Stainsby gets the nod for the first day of the new season, just purely because he's natural as an attacking forward, whereas Fisher isn't. So Hugo gets the number 1 shirt. Zaba gets the Tom Elliott number 12 that was previously worn by Miles Darwin as well. Perhaps the number 12 was just cursed last year, coming straight off the back of Sir Tom Elliott. New Omar is playing for Oldham. And Lee Weaver. Oh no, this is... Weaver's going to get a hat-trick, isn't he? This new guy, Stainsby, is going to be rubbish, and Lee Weaver is going to show me just how wrong I was making the decision that I've just made. Oh, if he scores a couple of goals, we're buying him back. It's just straight away, we'll buy him back. Because I don't know what I'm going to do. What was Pasquez thinking, letting Weaver go and surviving on the likes of Stainsby and Zach Walker, is that his name? And Cairns. None of these are Lee Weaver. If you're going to sell any of the 5, why sell Oh my word. I don't have any words for this. Robbie? So Hugo just basically put it onto the foot of Weaver. 9 minutes on the clock. Lee Weaver. Are we getting a second replay? Because it was so pathetic. We get another replay, do we? Hugo. Well, Hugo's made a first impression, hasn't he? Goodness gracious me. And of course Lee Weaver's scored. Of course he has. Probably the first of a hat-trick today. Now, I said a lot last season. There was never any fear of me getting sacked last season. I was not going to get fired. They just wanted me to battle bravely against relegation. But we're fine if we went down. This year is different. The board are expecting a playoff finish. The media are predicting a playoff finish. If we have a poor start to this season, I genuinely could get fired. And that would be a problem. That would be a big problem. Right, Hughes to Neil. This is where we grab an equaliser. It's a ball forward towards Ruggles. See, why can't their goalkeeper have a ridiculous moment of nonsense? Ours did. So upsetting. Weaver's in behind again. We all know what Lee Weaver can do in this kind of situation. He squares it to some other fella who scores, and Hugo has not been very good yet, has he? Oh dear. Mitchell's gone to Newcastle, remember? 35-year-old Mitchell has gone to Newcastle in the Premier League, presumably. I mean, they must see him having a future as a coach or something. You don't go there at 35 as a player, hitting the Premier League for the first time, surely. They've brought him in as their third or fourth choice keeper to coach the under-18s or something, surely. But, oh, we've not had a good start, have we? We need to get our heads sorted. Ball, beats a man, plays it into Stainsby, out wide to Ibrahim, who crosses in to Stainsby again, and Ruggles. Ruggles grabs a goal back just before half-time, and Stainsby looked lively there. He needs to look proper lively in this game, bearing in mind he's being compared to Lee Weaver at the other end, that he did look lively there, and that was good. Ruggles gets a goal back, and hopefully that sorts our heads out, and we can now go on and win this game. I don't know how good Oldham are, but I do know we need to lose the championship mentality we've had for the last couple of years. Oh, it's all right to lose or draw the away games. We win every game now. We got a record points total last time we played in this league, and we're going to blooming do it again. And Stainsby has just equalised just before half-time, has he? He has. Oh, Stainsby's a former Oldham player. So both Stainsby and Weaver are playing against their old club. Well, now things have got interesting. So Stainsby also trying to play out of his skin, and he has made a much better introduction to his new club than Hugo has at the other end, because he's got a goal and an assist now, and has pretty much single-handedly dragged us back into this game in the last 5 minutes of this half. And we're on the attack again just before half-time. It's Davies to Barber. Barber, big ball over the top for Stainsby, who's fouled. Stainsby has now won a penalty. In the space of 5 minutes, Ollie Stainsby has announced his arrival at Nuneaton with a goal, an assist and winning a penalty, which puts us ahead just before half-time. Ball with the penalty, which presumably is a second assist for Stainsby as well for winning the penalty in the first place. And we're back, everybody. I said we'd be back. We're back. Oh, we're playing proper Nuneaton football now. We can do it at this level. And Weaver scored again. Offside? Yeah, offside. It was offside. Good. Because we still have to be afraid of Weaver, especially with this clown that we've got in goal. Robbie Nadat left in the summer as well. I didn't even show you the released players, but Robbie Nadat has left the club. So remind me at the end of the episode to show you the players who was released. I think he was the only significant one who left. This is probably where you've got your own hero, who I've forgotten, who also left in the summer. But I think the only name we would know who was released was Robbie Nadat, because, you know, no room for sentimentality anymore. I listened. You all said, Kev, you're too sentimental. Kev, you're too stubborn. Well, there you go. I've mixed things up massively. I'm not going to change what I know is a good tactic. Certainly not at this level. We might rethink it when we go back up again. When we go back up again. But I'm not holding on to players just because I like them anymore. We still have got Sawyer, who's played for us in every league apart from the National League North. So there's still the possibility that Sawyer could play everywhere from the National League all the way up to the Premier League. But that whole romantic every playable league thing is gone, and we've just conceded an equaliser. And this keeper, he ain't up to much, is he? It's the story of this save. I can only imagine how different this save might be going if at any point in the 12 seasons that we've played, we stumbled across a half-decent goalkeeper. But I don't think such a thing exists in FM18. Right, Sawyer, after all that big talk has been rubbish today, we are going to change up the defence. Lang's going to come on at right back. And Michael Simmons, I think, is someone we brought in over the summer. Yeah, so he came in from Hull over the summer, so he's going to come on for Sawyer and push him out the team. No room for sentimentality. That's what we were just saying. We have got Dan Fisher on the bench as well, who probably needs to come on for Ruggles sooner rather than later if we are in the business of trying to win this game, which I think is the business that we're in now we're back down at this level. No more of this, well, we'll settle for 3-3 now. No, let's get Fisher on. 15 minutes to go and get Dan Fisher in there. And just to remind everyone that he exists, Lee Weaver has been a nuisance for them today. Stainsby has arrived and been awesome. Ruggles has just carried on where he left off the last couple of years, scoring goals for us. So Dan Fisher just needs to remind us all that not only does he exist, but this is his level. Fisher crosses to Stainsby, and it's 4-3, and we're playing like a Kev team again. We were just never, ever going to be good enough to play in the Championship with the infrastructure that we have in place. They haven't cancelled building the new ground, which is important because we move into the new ground midway through next season. So potentially, if this season goes well, we could be moving into our new 16,000 capacity all-seater stadium halfway through our first season back in the Championship, and that would immediately give us more of the oomph that we need to be able to bring in the players that let us compete at that level. So in the grand scheme of things, relegation might end up being one of the best things that could have happened, because it meant we didn't have to have 2, 3, 4 seasons of just playing boring defensive football. We get to have a season where we massively overachieve, a really disappointing season where everyone says I'm stubborn, an awesome, glorious free-scoring promotion season, and then the new ground. And that's much more fun than defending for 3 years, even if you love defending. It's 5-3 with 2 minutes to go, and Fisher's got the ball again, and it's with ball, and it's over the top for Stainsby, who has been a nuisance all day long. I tell you what, I'm saying it here and now, I made the right call swapping Stainsby for Weaver. Barber to Ball to Fisher to Stainsby to Neal. That was spectacular. And Michael Neal has now scored on his debut. And it is 6-3 to Nuneaton on the first day of the season, back down in League One. Oh, I've missed playing at this level. We know how to win League One. And blimey, are we showing it today. The youngster Michael Neal on his debut, showing that we can afford to have a few youngsters in the team at this level as well and blood them through. But what a performance. Our defence has been trash, just as it was last year. Our keeper situation is still hopeless. But we know at this level, we can be awful away from home and go and score 6 goals and we'll be all right. And that's the level of football Kev wants to play at. Can we just stay in League One forever? League One is fun. Can't we just rename it the Premier League and let us into the Champions League this way? Right, here we go. Let's grab number 7. Ball to Fisher. Stainsby's in space. Ibrahim's on the overlap, but Stainsby goes it alone, trying the spectacular. And I guess, why not at this situation? He's on a hat-trick on his debut against his old club, and we're massively ahead. So why not try and score a ridiculous goal in the last minute? It didn't come off for him, but that's the one fault you can have with Ollie Stainsby's debut, because other than that, he has been spectacular and has successfully overshadowed Lee Weaver on the opposite team. That was a success, everybody. Now if I can go and find just one more midfielder maybe, then I think we have a title winning team again. That was good fun. Oh, I was going to show you the released players, wasn't I? So transfer history, released players. So Robbie Nadat. Oh, Squire Bill left as well. In fact, you'll know all of them. So they've all left the club as well. No room for sentimentality anymore. Has Nadat found a club yet? Robbie is now Tamworth's goalkeeper in the National League. Just like Joe Anderson, Robbie Nadat has now found his level. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.